Just to double check audio before we get going. Alright, hello everybody, welcome to BRL Season 12, Round 6 here. It is wet around Monza, and we've got a mixture of tyres. Immediately, we're going to get straight into qualifying here, obviously, but first off, I think the reason why, look at it, out on this track. It is soaked. I mean, in all honesty, considering what we saw in Silverstone Reverse last time out, this could be Inters. We do not know. But look at this. Quite a few people choosing some wet tyres, quite a few people choosing Inter tyres. I think it's pretty split opinion here. We've got, if I'm going to count quickly, 9 drivers on the intermediates. I think that's 7 drivers on the wets. Hazard being the first one to be out on the track here, but really trying to get some temperature into the tyres. He might try and bail out of this pretty quickly if he can't get temperature, because obviously we saw in that Silverstone Reverse race that it was pretty hard to get the wets working. So we'll just have to wait and see how it is in this qualifying session. But we'll just have to wait and see. However, we're going to quickly update you on the drivers and constructors standings because more quick people are not here. Obviously, last time I don't think we had D-Move, and neither did we have Rhea Harris or Rashik. I think those are the main 3 people. While D-Move is back, we also have Wisburn here, who also was pretty fast, and Bluebird, our pulsar for last time, is 2 here. But, yeah, still no Rhea Harris, still no Rashik. So Rhea Harris up the leading championship, Rashik being the runners-up spot, for now anyway. It's been taken over by Wisburn and Rose, and Rose especially, he's not here today either. Let's see what these 2 do as Hazard and, I don't want to say it's Bluebird, I hope it's not Bluebird after their contact last time. No, it's Kodoy. Let's see how these 2 go. Looks like they're sticking it out on the wet tyres. Let's see what their lap's going to be. This could be really interesting here, this qualifying, especially if it decides to go and try and dry up. Let's have a look. As we see into turn 1 there, looks like he's spotted the braking zone pretty well, so far anyway. Hazard pretty much following behind there. The issue is though, is that Hazard really needs to make sure he doesn't get that dirty air, but if he tries getting out of the dirty air, that only means he's going to go a bit slower. So it's a bit of a hard predicament for him to be in, but I assume he wants to try and be at least a little bit closer to that Red Bull. 28.8 for Kodoy so far. Not too sure what Hazard did there, but it looked a tiny bit slower from what I saw on the off-board view there. But it looked like Kodoy just touched grass there. We'll see him come around this bit of the corner. Looking pretty steady. A little bit of a wobble there, as of Hazard behind. But looking all good so far. Through the first and second Lesmo, though. Look at them both drifting through the second Lesmo. And now they've got to use a lot of their battery here as they come down to Sector 3. I think it'd be a lot easier to actually recharge battery in this weather, obviously, because you're going quite a bit slower and you are definitely hitting the brakes a lot harder. You'll be easier to recharge your battery over a lap. So you'll be seeing a lot more battery usage than you normally would. Looks like Hazard, though. I think he actually made a mistake there. He's dropped quite a bit away from Kodoy, at least from what it looks like. I can't even see him in the spray now. So we'll see, though. Kodoy coming across Parabolica, only just in gear 4 on the wet tyres, but obviously we don't know what the quickest tyre is at the minute because no one's set laps. However, we're going to see the first lap done now. Kodoy across the line, 31.4. What will Hazard do? He's 32.9. I think he did actually make a mistake in the end of things. Anyway, though, Josh, I think, is on the wet tyres. He will not be going much quicker, but he'll be probably slotting into P3 there. Cole Pillow on the Inters, however. Let's see where he goes. 31.6. So interestingly enough, it looks like the wets and the Inters are very similar pace. Unlike what was happening last time, yeah, Jesus, the rain is heavy here. Pretty crazy stuff. Let me actually really quickly invite Sia Drama, because he wants in on this session. Not seeing him online at the minute, mate, so if you are watching this one, try your best to get yourself online. I don't know what lap times was set in the background. Let me just quickly invite the offline version then. Hopefully that's all good for you. Anyway, look, Mucho Capo's gone faster by half a second on the intermediate tyres, but once again, there's still competitive laps on the wets, so we don't know. But however, Wisburn has our quickest here with 30.0. Bluebird P2 now with 30.4. I think there was a Hassel Hench come across the lineup. I think he actually is coming up to start like this. He is. Budget Bruce is going to get off the wet tyres though, so he's not going to go any quicker at the minute. Exotic Swords is going to do his best to try and make sure he's all okay around the final corner, but that was very, very sketchy around the final corner. Where does he go? he goes P3. Remember, he was P3 on the grid, I believe, in Silverstone as well. So we did actually watch him too. However, I think there'll be a load of people here wanting to just do consecutive laps. They want to try and build up how quick they're going here, and I think that's probably the best thing you really need to do. If you fill up for a few laps, then see what happens. It'll be the best thing for you to go and do. Let's double check and see if Jarman now is online. He is, so we'll quickly invite him in, and we should be all okay. There's a Ferrari go across the line of Cold Pillow, but he's going to start his second lap now. Not sure if anyone's really going for a second lap right now, but it looks like D-Move is right here. Maybe Nat Packers is as well. No, he's not. He's backing off for another lap. But we'll see what D-Move does here on the intermediate tyres. Once again, I think it is better to do consecutive laps, or at least stay out that little bit longer, at least build up the lap time, because it's just a lot easier to go and do so. Let's see the D-Move across the line. 29.1. I think the wets are already a little bit obsolete here, as Kodoy, the fastest wet driver on the track at the minute. Yeah, look at him, he's really trying to grip out there, despite how much water they can tread. 30.0 for skill stand, as we see a Aston come across the line. Only to start a lap though. I think that's Kadon maybe come across the line. No, it's not. Well, what's knowing like though anyway? So we want the ones across the line in a minute. Our hence comes up to P5. Where does knowing like go? The P14 in a minute. Red Bull I think come across the line. No, it's going to come to the pits there, Bluebird. Exotic Swords are going to start a lap. We're just trying to make sure we're capturing all the laps as we can at the minute, because this is some crazy stuff. I think Kadon's going on a lap here, but he's on the wet tyres, who, yeah, I mean, I don't think the wet tyres are really the call in this weather at the minute. But look, he's really soaring away at the steering wheel at the minute. Let's see it. The Williams driver will come across the line, and now, and it will be P12. So yeah, not really too much going at the minute. Knowing like a little bit further off there at the minute. Wizard, I think, is on a lap. D-Move, I believe, will charge again. Skills Dan, looks like he's not on a lap there. Henson, I'm not too sure. Maybe, yeah, recharge the battery there. Mucho Capaway's on a lap though, so we'll watch him as Cold Pillow actually, I think there. He's went P4, lovely lap there from Cold Pillow. Whisper, no, we'll watch him as well as Mucho Capo. He's 1.2 up, so yeah, track, I want to believe he's actually drying quite quickly here, so not too sure if really the wets were the best call to go on. I think everyone will be switching that pretty damn quickly. Anyway though, let's see Mucho Capo come across the line first. We'll see what he does. Actually, hold on, there is one thing I need to do just after this. We'll quickly just go see what Mucho Capo does. Across the line he goes P2. We'll see Wizbo jump up in second, and we will see him go 28.4. Just give me one very quick second here, just need to stop one thing, just to make sure our live timings are all good. Just give me 1 minute. Right, sorry about that. We are back. I'm hoping this is going to work, as we actually cut pretty well there to D-Move, who's just gone fastest. We'll see Much Kappa come across the, well, final few corners, looking very slippy there from her indeed. But, yeah, just want to make sure we get our race stats all okay here. I'm not 100% certain if they're going to be. It's still saying disconnected on this, so it's going to be a bit of a nightmare trying to do this. So if there are issues, then I'm very sorry. I might have to go occasionally pause the stream once or twice, but yeah, right now it's not looking too good. I'm not sure if the stats are going to go too well here, but anyway, there are some people on laps going around. I think Hazard there, we won the first cross the line. That might going to look at. I think there'll be 2 V carbs right after that, or there might be 2 Red Bulls. But Hazard though goes into P5. Both the Red Bulls are on out laps. I'll give it a little bit more time here, just really quickly. I'm so sorry I'm pausing the stream constantly. I just need to make sure this is all good, so just give me an extra minute here. Right, we're back, but I think the issue is here is that we might not have any race stats to the people that are watching here. It'll be, it's for some reason it's just not really working for me at the minute. But anyway, we're seeing Kodai come. I don't know what was going on there, but for some reason, I don't know what has just happened. I've just come. Oh no! Oh no! I don't know what's just happened, but I've just. Oh my goodness! I do not know what I've just seen. Hazard is not moving. I don't know what I just seen coming down the start finish straight, but I think Kodo will be incredibly angry with that one. I don't know what has happened, but he's just. Oh my goodness me! I don't know what I've just seen. Okay, well, Kodo was improving, but now that is not going to happen. But people are actually looking at softs here in a minute. Yeah, Henson is going fastest. I don't know what the hell's just happened there. That looked. I literally don't know what's happened. I was not. Oh my god. Okay, I've just. Oh my god. Yeah, that'll definitely be getting talked about quite a lot there. We'll just put it that way. But yeah, at the minute, I don't think I'm going to be able to have race stats. So that's just the main thing there. But that was a pretty damn big talking point as well. It looked like Hazard just stopped and then looked like he just tried going out the way on the right. And Kodai's gone right as well. And it's just turned into an absolute mess. So, oh no, we have got race stats. Sort of. It's trying its best. It's doing its best to get all ready for us. But I don't know how well it's going to go by the end of this. Hasty will have some serious words there to answer for, especially Hazard there. So, wow, crazy stuff. He also starts last, Hazard does. He completely is out of qualifying in a minute. He will try his best in this race, but yeah, the main thing is there'll probably have a big penalty looming over him. And not to mention, there could be further things going on. Who knows at this point? But we're going to have to quickly move on with that because people are still setting laps out there. People are still going fast. Not sure who was going to come across the line there. That's a V-Carb, I believe, of Budget Bruce. No, D-Move. Trying his first time on the soft tyres. Interesting. I mean, it's still raining. I'm not too sure about this one, but if he's going to try it, D-Move will probably be one of the main people to try and do it. I think he's gone a bit early here. There's still 4 minutes left for the track to dry up, but look, he's looking very tentative in turn one here. Mucho Capo goes fastest here with a 26.0. No, 26.9, sorry, 26.0. Not sure what's going on with racing tools at the minute, so I'm very sorry if I missed stuff on the screen here because it's just not really working. He's 3 tenths behind at the minute. Josh, I think, just went a bit quicker there as well. No, like also trying to go on a lap there. CA Drama trying a lap too, and apparently purple first sector. So for a first lap here, CA Drama might not be doing too bad. So we'll wait and see what he does. But yeah, sorry, I'm really trying to get this to work, the race stats, because it'd be really nice if I can. It would save me a lot of time. Let's have a look now. It's saying connecting and it's green, so hopefully we're all okay. No, it's just disconnected. Never mind. Skills down shows on the wets. Not sure what's going on with that one. Oh, Demon as well, off! And he's out! I've just caught that one, my goodness. He's starting P8 maximum then. My god, okay, this is a very interesting qualifying. Demon thinks gone too early on the soft tyres. And I think everyone now actually just sort of waiting for it. Look, Cold Pillow's a 10th up at the minute. But he will need to quickly recharge on this lap and then get going again. Because, well, I mean, he's going to go quickest probably if he's going to hold up that sort of time in Sector 2. Let's see. He's not going much quicker. I think he'll have to bail out this lap, recharge the battery and go again. And he does exactly that. However, some people are still trying to finish their laps here, knowing like it goes quickest of all after not looking very quick at the minute. He's suddenly gone quickest of all on the intermediate tyres. And that means if people can't really pull off this dry lap, then knowing light is going to have a lovely time out there at the front of the field. Josh goes 4th fastest. This is now the case of do you pick intermediates or do you pick softs? Because what do you do? There's no DRS available still, so technically it's not in time for softs now. But if people are brave enough, by the time it gets to the last laps, it could be enough for dry tyres. What do you choose? I think at the minute it's got to be intermediates. We saw it as well in Silverstone Reverse. I think going dries, it's not the call. But Cole Pillar retires now. He was looked like he's in the pits actually retired with that one, so he is done. But yeah, see, Drama's going still. Blackbone's on a set of intermediates, and it looks like he's going as well. So he won't go onto a set of dries by the end of this. But yeah, some people gamble on dry. Skills Dan, Exotic, and Nat Packers. Those three, they get it right. They've got it perfect. But right now, this track I think is looking too wet for any sort of slick running. Let's see though. I see a drama comes around the final corner. This will be his last lap of the session. Let's see where he goes. And considering the improvements that people are saying on intermediates at the minute, if he just hooks this lap up at least semi-decently, he's going to find himself high up the field. Let's watch the lap time. He goes P5. Let's see what other people are going to do. Mucha Kappa behind. Looks like starting his last lap now. Knowing like the same. Hasser Henson also starting his last lap. We're going to see a load of people here trying their best to stay out on the track. As I see a drummer's cut score there being pretty unhappy with himself, I think. Probably wanting a bit more than that one. Blackburn though goes wide. That's his lap invalidated, but he's still got time to go and do one more lap if he has to fuel. Let's watch it now. Cadem also doing his lap. Nat Packers 1.3 seconds off of his time currently. If he keeps that sort of trajectory going, he might be on for a solid lap here. Blackburn to the line. I don't know if he's in a pit or not. Let's see. He's going to keep going, so he might actually do a bit more of a better lap here. Bluebird on this minute is still going. Skillstan trying his best. CA Drama, I think he's trying his best to get to the line in time, but he's not going to be higher than 5th. Our Henson doing decently out there so far, knowing like Mucha Kappa following each other here. And this is a brilliant qualifying so far if we see some mixed up orders. Let's have a look now as Mucha Kappa gets the second sector. He's second up at the minute. What about Knowing Light behind him? I don't know, but he's probably a similar amount up. Our Henson 1.7 seconds up. Josh is finishing P4. CA Drama's finishes there as well. Wisman's half a second up in a minute. Skills Dan. Let's actually see what he's doing here, because he's one of the next people to come and find time. I don't know who else was there in a minute. Kadom, he's a few seconds up as well. Let's quickly watch Skills Dan here. Is he up? He's 2.2 up. Let's have a look at this though. As Mucho Capo rounds the final corner. Nat Packers goes quickest on softs. Mucho Capo beats him. Knowing like to the line. Where's he going to go? Let's see it. P3. Oh, heads to the line. He goes top at the minute. What about Wisman? What Skills Dan? Who's that going to come around the final corner in a minute? I think it is Kadon there. DRS is enabled. It is time for soft tyres. If you are on them now, it's the best chance you've got. Kadon goes third. Winsbird, what is he going to do across the line here? He won't get any DRS though, but Skills Dan gets up to the top there. Winsbird into P2. Skills Dan takes the gamble on softs. It might have worked. Bluebird goes third. Budget Bruce fighting the ass of Exotic there as he's going quicker than Budget Bruce on this lap. Budget Bruce trying to find some grip. He's not going to find on the outside there. Will Exotic steal the pole at the last moment? Will he do it? No, he goes into the front row. However, the dry tyres have managed to just work. Only just work in the end of things. And that is Skills Dan taking pole position. Exotic Swords on the softs following him. He's on the front row, but most people here with the intermediates, Wisburn, Bluebird, or Henson, Mucho Capo, Kadon, Budget Bruce, they all look pretty set for some good laps there, but the soft tyres came in at the end. Not for Nat Packers though, he's only 9th. Knowing Likes P10, Josh is P11, CA Drama P12, Kodoy P13 after that crash, Steamu P14, Blackman P15, bit of a disappointing one for him as I think he ran out of fuel. Just Go Pillow P16, disappointing for him too. And yeah, Hazard with a DSQ in the end of it. Yeah, crazy stuff. I don't know what that was. Wow. Wow. We are going to have to wait here for a solid race because so far this is looking great. This is looking amazing so far. I don't know what's going on with this timings, by the way. I don't know why. So unfortunately, for now, we're not going to get any... my God, what am I going to say? We're not going to get any stats or anything else like that. However, crazy stuff. I don't know what has just happened. Wow. Hazard crashing, Dimu crashing as well. Sorry, I can't get over the Hazard and Kodoy crash. I don't know what just happened. Wow. I don't know what I've just seen. I think people might be a little bit upset. Some people in that quality session in the end, I think especially those last ones, I think some people actually caught up to others or were having a bit of a blocking of others there because people were just on their laps. I think a few people on the soft set were just trying to get out of the way. So, Yeah, we'll see it though. Anyway, as we're going to go to the 5 red lights right now. Skills down on pole, Exotic lines up alongside on the front row. Whisper behind as well. It's a very quick set of lights, and Skills down is underway. There's a bit of, I don't know what that was there behind. However, Whisper has had a great start. Yeah, Exotic has not had a great start either there. Whisper immediately into the second place. Looks like Exotic has gone a little bit deep on the brakes. I don't know how he's not turning anyone around, but everyone's just trying to keep it safe there. Oh, Henson cuts the corner. Looks like everyone's keeping it at least safe, or at least half safe down there. CA Drama gets a 10-second penalty for gaining a place there, but I'm assuming that might get removed, depending on what happens later on. Oh, Henson trying to find a move around past Exotic here. It's on the inside. Let's see it between these two as he go on board Mucho Capo, who looks like he's got a decent start there as well. And he's going to try and maybe make a run here on Exotic Swords. Let's see it now on the inside. Will Exotic lead the space? Looks like Mucho Capo's only just managed to get past him there, and he's only just squeezed through into P5. Lovely stuff from Mucho Capo, but he gets very wide there on the exit. And has a bit of a snap, and Exotic Sword's going to try and come back at him. This is going to help the top 4 streak away if they can. And let's see, will either of them be stubborn enough to let him into Ascari? Looks like Mucho Capo just decided to stay back for now. However, that was a bit of an eventful start. Exotic, though, also having another snap again. So they're all having issues here. K-Dub also looking like he's had a bit of a snap behind. I think there was also some damage there. Low part of the field, look at that. 2 Aston Martins there. Looks like Exotic almost squeezed with the cap onto the grass there. As we're watching Knowing Light, looks like he's gone quite wide though. I don't know if he's got any damage. He does have a bit of damage on his car. More people are going wide as well. Not sure what's going on, but yeah, Knowing Light has quickly dive into the pits here. Look at the almighty state of what's going on back here. As Wisburn takes Skills down out in front, he's going to go into the lead. Let's watch this into turmoil. Looks like CA Drama is going to get past that Packers. Let's see now both the V-Cubs trying to fight here. As with the, oh, it looks like a bit of contact there behind. But, yeah, Blackbird trying to fight out Budget Bruce there and D-Move. But nothing's really happening in a minute. Knowing Light into the pits there with the damage. Looks like other people trying to find something there. It looks like Blackbone trying to get on the inside of Budget Bruce. That was a bit of a late move, but he might be able to just get it done here into turn 4, and he's done it pretty well. Looking good. And now Budget Bruce under attack from Josh behind. Let's see if anything's going to happen. It doesn't look like it is. However, we're going to take a little bit of a breather here. So everyone is still in the DRS window at the minute. Going to take a little breather. Let's see what has happened in this race. Wisburn having a great start there, up 2, and Exotic being the main loser there, down 3. But at the minute, CA Drama's had a nice start there so far. Obviously gained 1 place at the very start, but I might be getting argued against. However, he's up 4 places. Kodoi up 3, D-Move up 3, Blackburn up 3. They've all had great starts. Budget Bruce, unfortunately, he has not had a great start. As for Josh, and also Knowing Like there, down at the back of the field at the minute, on the soft tyres. Just trying to see if we can salvage anything from this race so far. However, guys out in front here, Whisper looking pretty good with the fastest lap at the minute. Looks like there'll probably be some sort of things happening though. As we look at the tyres, Exotic Swords on the hard tyres, probably the main outlier in that top 7. As CA Drama actually also on the hard tyres. So actually pretty impressive how he's made a few positions as well. And that was a bit of a looser end there, I think, for D-Move. As also looking at the back of him, as Blackburn is trying to gain on him too. Obviously Kodoi, D-Move, those 2 on the hard tyres. Josh has it as well. But yeah, Knowing Like sort of trying to find any sort of pace now on them soft tyres. So Henson has a bit of an issue there. He's gone wide. That might leave Exotic Swords to just charge you on the inside here. Let's see what happens. Looks like Henson let that one go there. And I think he's going to try and think about some moves a little bit later on into this lap. Let's see it. As Henson does go a tiny bit wide there though. It might actually be a bit under threat here for Mucho Capo. He's got quite a lot of battery to play with. Henson is not using the battery. Mucho Capo, will he try and make any sort of send work into Ascari here? Or will he back out? No, he will not. Mucho Capo on the inside. Lovely move there. As Henson, I think, did try and back out a little bit. But unfortunately for him, he has lost position either way. And now Mucho Capo needs to make sure he stays in the DRS of the guy out in front here, which is Exotic, who is definitely not staying in the DRS of this top 3. Who else is fighting here at the minute? Looks like there's more fighting between Hazard and Josh. Josh trying his best to stay on the inside here. Hazard trying to find a sort of way past. Nudges the back of that Mercedes there as Josh lunged it right up the inside. He's using quite a lot of track there actually to make sure he stays on it. But he's not got much battery left. Hazard does. And we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, Wizard, Skills, and Bluebird, those are the top 3 at the minute. And they are doing okay so far. No contact yet. But we're going to watch later down in the field here. Budget Bruce and that pack is trying to find somewhere to go and make a move, but at the minute nothing is happening. Will D-Move try to make a move on Kodoi here? Think at the minute it is what's going to happen. D-Move looks like he's going to have the much better straight line speed here. Kodoi does not have the battery to defend, and D-Move is passed up into P9. Nothing too bad so far from the RB driver, especially because he's on hards. He did start a little bit further back, but he's also on hard tyres, so it'll be pretty hard for him to make moves. However, look at him go. He's not doing too bad at the minute, and he's going to have to try and clear CJ Drama if he then wants to be one of the lead hard runners, obviously. Exotic out there up in front. He'll be the lead hard runner for quite a while at this rate, unless he has a bit of an off, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But so far, Wizman continues to lead. Skills Dan in second, Bluebird in third as well. Looks like Kadon though actually looks like a bit under pressure here from CA Drama. So despite the medium tyres, Kadon with a little lift off there. He wants that DRS especially. And CA Drama might be vulnerable to D-Move here as well, which is exactly what he would want. Let's see it now from D-Move's perspective. Kodoy as well, actually. We might watch it from his perspective too. Let's watch it from D-Move's first. Kadon's got no battery to play with, so he might have wanted DRS. He's got no chance to clear CA Drama though, and he has been passed there by D-Move. So that's one the medium runner's gone, at least for his sake. Looks like Blackburn trying to go running outside of Kodoy. That looks like a really nice move. If he tries to pull that one off, and I think he has. There's a bit of contact there between Kodoy and Budget Bruce too. But I think that was a lovely move there from Blackburn that we didn't really see, but that looked great. As Kadon is trying to fight to break away from Blackbone as Budget Bruce and Kodoy continue to fight behind. But once again, none of them really got any battery at the minute. I think that's the main issue here. A lot of people down the back of the field simply can't clear anyone right now. As in, there's just not much. Yeah, I mean, I think Mucha Capo, I think these three are sort of working together here to save their battery too. Told each other along, save their battery. Same with the top three at the minute. I mean, Bluebird, looking like he's got pretty decent battery there. Skills down, maybe looking at the weakest of the three in terms of battery. Now he had a bit of a moment there going into Ascari. Bluebird's trying to follow him through and maybe make some moves. And Wizburn also has got some decent battery on him. Bluebird trying his best to get past Skills down as soon as he can. Let's see, is there any more pressure being put on people behind? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Let's have a look here. Going towards what was Parabolica, but now called the Alvaretto Curve, as Budget Bruce looks to sort of, well, see if he can make any sort of moves out here with Blackbone. And let's see it now, because he'll probably get past Kadon here. Budget Bruce got a lovely launch so far. Let's see it for him. He's going to get past Kadon here as Mucha Kappa gets past his swords. There's a little bit of contact actually there, as we saw Budget Bruce's character raise his hand, probably saying for a bit of contact there. However, looks all good so far. Blackburn had a bit of a bad exit there too. Let's see, will Blackburn be under threat here a little bit from Budget Bruce? He's using the battery. Budget Bruce, I think he's actually going to be able to do it here, but Blackbone, I think, just has that slight bit of ERS in reserve here. He's going to just manage to stay ahead in the end of it, but he's got a very bad chicane there. Let's have a look now. Budget Bruce trying to get on the back of him, but nothing happening so far. Top three at the minute though, still staying as is at the minute, but Skills Dan, well, I mean, I think it's quite fair to say that he's looking one of the weaker ones out the three at the minute. Bluebird and Wizburn looking like they're saving the battery quite nicely, but Skills Dan almost dropping out of DRS to Wizburn out in front there, and also having a little bit less battery, so we'll have to wait and see how that unfolds. But Kadon here looks like doing on the inside. Budget Bruce, that looked pretty nice there. That was in chucking the bits. Good job onto him. Oh, that looked like he was going to have a little bit of a spin there, but he's managed to only just save it. But now Budget Bruce going to take that position right back from it. So all that good work for Kadon into Ascari has been completely undone now, as Kodoy still looking behind the Williams rear wing, and he's going to try and clear it now. There's Kadon, he has not much battery to play with now. Kodoy hoping there's not going to be another crash on this straight like he had in qualifying, and he's going to go sailing right on through as Exotic Swords and Mucha Capo trading places once again. Our Hench just sitting a bit behind at the minute, but he's just at least pretty well, he's looking pretty comfortable with that one though. However, he's got a bit on the rear end there that doesn't look too happy, and CA Drama might try and capitalise on that one. However, I think he's a bit too far back for the minute. Well, someone who isn't too far back for a move though. Kadon with Josh. Let's have a look at this one. They're going to go touching wheels here towards through Cover Grande actually towards turn 4. Let's have a look at it. It's side by side. Kadon though hops the curve quite a bit. Only just manages to stay ahead there now. And Hazard trying to maybe look for a sort of move here on his hard tyres. Maybe trying to have just clear one of the people on the hard tyres. He's not really be able to do that at the minute. And knowing like also boxes off the soft tyres after only like 5 laps. That's pretty crucial information for people to know there. If knowing like tyre wear is that bad, that's pretty crazy. Nat Pack is also actually boxed, and I did not recognise it at some point. However, Josh is trying to make a move on Kadon. Josh left him no space there. I think Kadon had to be a little less opportunistic there with what he was trying to do. I don't think he was going to be able to pull off that move, even if he was half alongside there. I do not think it was going to happen whatsoever. However, someone who might be able to try and pull off a move now is Bluebird. Skills down, almost out of DRS here. Wizburn keeping his stuff nice and lovely, but Blackbone off. Looks like Josh also having a bit of an issue there. Quite a few people are going slowly. I don't know what's just happened, but Blackbone has been the main person involved in that one. He's gone down a few places. CA Drama has gone ahead of our Henson. Let's see this one now. Let's see who's going to have a go at who. Looks like Code on the inside of Josh there, looking nice and pretty good there, actually. All things considered, I really thought Blackbone would have had some issues into turn one, but no. Budget Bruce, actually, and Caden will also come to the pits on that lap, and they can go into a set of mediums and hard tyres. So maybe the tyre wear is really affecting these guys. I don't know if it is, but it looks like it is. There's our Henson here, struggling to fend off D-Move at the minute. He's going to try and go on the inside no matter what here, D-Move. Takes to the grass a bit, but he's still ahead of our Henson. Only just he manages to get through after all of that one. And D-Move up into P7. I don't think he was really wanting to let that one go there, our Henson, but unfortunately he had to at the end of things. But I think right now he just keep managing the tyres, really. I think that's all people on the mediums need to do here. The guys up front, I believe, are doing the exact same thing at the minute. Just trying to manage the tyres as much as you can. And then once you feel like you're good enough, you should be fine to go into the pit lane. Because look, Exotic Swords starting to catch up to those top three, actually. That's the main thing right now. Blackbone actually made a move down on Josh, I think, through the middle of the Scary. I'm not too sure what happened, but it looked like a decent move from what we saw there. Right, now, this is interesting. Bluebird calling an undercut on the top two. Let's see if either of them respond or they want to try and go for a one-stop here, because this will not be a regularly scheduled one-stop strategy here for Bluebird. Let's have a look as Mucho Kappa comes into the pits. Our Henson 2, maybe we want to try and pull an undercut there on Exotic Swords and Mucho Kappa, but Mucho Kappa responds the same lap there. Mucho Kappa actually probably going to the pits first there. Our Henson following him in. Colpillo 2 also in, as we're going to see a few more people fighting out in front. Look at this. Kodoy, Josh, Blackbone and Hazard all fighting it out here. And what is interestingly enough is Bluebird is obviously the lead of the people who just pitted. But it might not be the lead of the race here, actually. It's all Blackbone got that a little bit crossed up. He has to come across the chicane there. And he's going to lose position to Hazard probably. Let's have a look now. Hazard going to try and think about a move around the outside. Will he be able to make it stick? He does. But he's not going to have any more DRS here. Blackbone, with that mistake, is not able to really get DRS back on these two. However, it looks like Josh, don't really matter, is all knowing like out of the session, he is done with this race. And Josh there passed Kodoy. And Blackbone also once again passed Hazard, so that did not take long for Blackbone to remedy his mistake. Let's see though, will the top few guys out here come into the pit lane? Will they respond to what Bluebird's doing? Wizburn does not, he stays out, Skills down well, but I've got a fear that he might have been undercut here by the Red Bull. Let's see what he puts on though into the pits. If it's another set of mediums, we know it's 2-stop guaranteed. Let's have a look. He's going to put on a set of hard tyres. So once again, they might be able to take these things into the race, but I doubt it. I very highly doubt it. Obviously some people could, but yeah, if you're going to go onto a set of tyres right now, especially only on lap 9 or 10, it is most likely going to be a 2-stop for you. As Hazard is still in P7 at the minute, and you might be able to just watch the fight out in front of him here with Kodoy and Josh. Both of them, I mean Josh especially, running out of battery at the minute. Kodoy, if he wants to use some now, he'd definitely run out of battery by the time he stopped deploying. But we're going to see now D-Move on the back of CA Drama, and he's got quite a lot of VRS to boot here. CA Drama actually, haven't really talked about him. He's running a lovely race so far actually. Obviously a little bit lucky in that qualifying session, but he did put a lap in the end of things. I think he started P8, I want to say. Might be wrong with that one. No, he started P12. Never mind, ignore me. But no, he's done a great job actually so far. He definitely got a bit of a better qualifying than I think he normally does. And right now, he's looking like he's actually on track for a one-stop. I know how he normally is. So yeah. Anyway though, we have seen. Oh, there's a bit of a crash actually behind. Kaden, I think, has lost his wing. Yes, he has. Will there be any sort of virtual safety car or not? Nothing for the minute, but Kaden will need to go and box again as Wizburn is into the pits there. Maybe onto a set of hard tyres to the end. We do not know. What we do know, though, is actually Bluebird has undercut skill with standby quite a decent amount here. He is not in DRS anymore. And Wizburn should be the same here. I mean, obviously Bluebird will have a bit higher wear, but look, you're going to see him on the left of your screen now, or right of your screen now, as look, Bluebird right past him. Will Wizburn be passed by Skills down too? Yes, he will. So the undercuts worked for both drivers, but Wizburn now may have wanted that one, maybe either for the one stop there, or just to take it, just that extra few percent, and it might work out for him when trying to catch up again. Let's have a look. However, there's even more fighting going on at the back of the field here, I think, is actually might have been Kodoy just coming out the pits there. However, he's out in P14, has out in P15. Those two only just box on the same lap as well. But Wisburn is trying his best to warm his tyres a minute. He's not really gaining to the guys out in front. But Mucho Capo trying his best to keep in DRS of him as well. But once again here, D-Move really not looking too bad at the minute. I mean, I guess he's still trying to find a way past CJ Drama. He's trying to recover battery. But it looks like D-Move just going to sit behind him here. Yeah, look. Looks like D-Move just going to sit behind CJ Drama. And he'll wait for the time to go and try and make the move here into turn 1. On the DRS straight, this will be the easy pass that D-Move was looking for. CA Drama's got no defence, and that is D-Move up into P2 provisionally. Something that's also interesting here, Exotic into the pits. So this is definite 2-stop from Exotic. We will know he can't carry them hards anymore, so he'll be probably doing a double set of mediums by the end of this race. Josh also into the pits there, as Bluebird carries on, obviously. Skills Zando, under pressure from Wisburn, he has been passed by the Williams. And Bluebird now, with no one else really ahead of him for quite a bit, has now got to face down Wisburn. And how quick will he go under this clean air now? Because once again, Bluebird has not had clean air this whole race. This is the first time he's actually had it. And he can now see his pace 1-to-1 with Wisburn, and he'll see how good it goes for him. Exotic, though, actually on a decent place here, right next to our Henson. On the fresher tyres, on the softer tyres too. So we'll probably see a move here in a minute. Yellow flag sector 1 though. Who was that? It's Bluebird! He's spun! He's off into the gravel. And, well, as I was saying that he would be able to try and finally figure out his pace, he span it and he is off. So he's also got wing damage, I believe, on the left side of his car. Yes, he does. Got to make sure Blackburn also doesn't get caught up in that. But Bluebird, as I was saying, he just wanted to try and get some pace down, as Blackburn really almost goes to the back of him there. But Bluebird just trying to keep it on the track. Blackburn goes through. Bluebird will need another stop now. Hard tyre, I think, will be the clay for him now, if he's got a spare set of them. To the end of this race, he will probably go by that point. He's got nothing else to lose, as he's just struggling to get through his scar. He takes actually decently flat out, all things considered. But right now, CA Drama is currently in the net P2, if there was a safety car. So, yeah, crazy stuff at the minute. But Bluebird will probably pit this lap, surely. I don't think he'll stay out there any longer as Exotic sources past our Henson. He is through. Bluebird here, no, stays out, interestingly enough. Maybe trying to wait for a safety car here. But he's able to do a lot of defending here from the guys out behind him here. Look at that, Josh is with so much overspeed now. And he's going to go into P10. Bluebird's got to watch his braking here, actually, though, because once again, he's got much less downforce now than anyone else in this track at the minute. Let's see John picks up a number penalty there out in front. He's really got to watch what he does with straight line speed as well. He's going to have more straight line speed than anyone there. He's got less braking power, but less straight line speed too. He's maybe thinking of a move on the inside there, but no. He's got to really try and think otherwise here. He's got to just at least try and think like he's just driving the car normally now, because no way is he going to be able to repair that wing unless it's a safety car. Anyway though, we're going to keep going here. D-Move looks like he's dropped CA Drama now. CA Drama probably trying to go for the 1-stop here. And Kadom though, retires from session there in the pit lane. He is done. Let's see what D-Move does though, as we come across. Yeah, I think he's going to go for a 1-stop here. CA Drama though, calls it. He's not going to go for a 1-stop, and he's going to probably go for a double set of mediums now. Although I think he'll drop back a load of positions in this race. I don't think it'll work too much for him. I feel like a 1-stop could have worked for him, to be honest. If he managed to somehow push that to lap 15, he could have done it. But he's just going to also actually serve a penalty here. He's got 10 seconds there. I'm not sure when he got that. Oh no, it was actually to start the race. So unfortunately for him, he was pretty much doomed to have a bad pit stop here. And unfortunately for him, yeah, he's going to be last on this grid. There's a Budget Bruce, Kodo and Hazard are really close together here, actually. CA John might come out and have a little bit of a fun fight once he gets going. Let's see though, as Kodo on the inside of Budget Bruce. Might as well watch this bit of fight here while there's nothing too crazy going on at the top. But Hazard's going to climb the curb there quite a bit. He is not going to go any quicker down this exit. Let's see what Budget Bruce does though, as we go towards Curva Grande and then in towards chicane. Will he be able to try and make a move here? Don't think he's going to really try to. Kodo hasn't got much battery. Neither does Budget Bruce, neither does Hazard. They're all going to sit back and just wait for the next DRS zone to then go and happen. But interestingly now, Skills down. I mean, he's still in DRS, but he's about to get out of it in a minute. Mucho Capo also, someone I haven't really said about since, you know, since he boxed. This is kind of crazy for him, actually. He's in DRS of the top 3. And he's not doing too bad at the minute. He might only just get it. Obviously, the texture point has moved since the last game. So he's going to be now across here. It looks like he's just got it. Yes, he has. So Mucho Capo has now replaced Bluebird here, at least provisionally, in the fight for the top three. Exotic and Henson also trying to make sure that they're known here in the battle of the top three to make it the battle of the top five. But this could all change, really, because remember, Dimu, he's still going on out there, and he's not doing too bad. Well, as I say that, he goes and does that. Well, let's see, though. Does he have a punch, though? Because that was really bad from Dimu. I don't know if he's got distracted or not. Let's see it. As he go through, he's at the session. I'm not sure what's happened. He might got a puncher. I don't know what's happened to him. But he's not going. I don't know what's happened, but he is. Probably need of an invite here, actually. Let's just make sure he's online. He is. Let's go quickly send an invite, but not sure what's happened to him. He's still going pretty quick. It's Bluebird actually there. Well, I was just say fighting Josh, but he's off the track. He's got penalty as well. This could kill Demon's race if he doesn't have puncture at least. I don't think he does. I've given him an invite back. I'll give him one more just to make certain. But this is Demon's race, I think. Pretty much gone. He's back in the lobby. Might have been some issues with... Well, he's looking incredibly slow. This does not look very quick. Nat Packers gets free penalty as well for his lots of warnings. His AIs are coming to the pits. So at least he doesn't need to call that one. He is in. And for a set of mediums, I'm assuming, it says, and hopefully the AI doesn't put him on some ridiculous strategy, at least for his sake. Let's have a look. As I'm going to try and make sure I keep an eye on Mucho Capo as well. Maybe our Henson too. Let's see it. He's onto a set of mediums, so he's at least not doing too bad there. But yeah, Mucho Capo, well in the fight, the top three now, but he goes a little bit deep there into turn one. Maybe Exotic Swords actually can capitalise on that. His teammate can maybe try and get it good, but he's got a little bit of a bad exit there into the first turn. And we're going to see Dimu here. Look, he's out. But look, his car's going incredibly slowly. Obviously, the AI is not looking too good here, but it looks like he's all back. And he's going to be coming back in a second. We'll watch that throttle placement. Looks like he's back in a second. I hope he is now. So, we'll move back to the top five now, because that pit from Dimu has lost him not only a lot of time, but I think that probably would put him around where Nat Packers is, or at least around where Josh and Bluebird are. And I think that's just a shame, at least for Dimu there, because that was one disconnect, and unfortunately for him, he is now pretty much out of this race. Kodoi makes some penalty as well. We're actually going to look at the penalties here. Nat Packers with a penalty, Bluebird with a penalty, Kodoi is 6 seconds there as well. So the back of the grid is not treating him nicely at the minute, and I think everyone here is maybe try and fly past him now. Let's see what does Budget Bruce do. He's going to go on the inside here. Let's see what he does. Kodoi will be trying to stick around the outside. He's going to try and do it as well, actually. This is looking pretty nice here, this fight. As Kodoi and Hazard right next to each other on the track again. This is going to be a bit spicy if it's going to end like anything how I did in qualifying. However, CHR decides I'm going to get on with it. He is going to blast the battery and maybe a little bit too much there, as he's had a tap of Budget Bruce, and somehow everyone's facing the right way, but CHR got that one too crossed up there, and Budget Bruce, I'm going to come to the pits again, not sure what happened. Probably actually just for set tyres here, because he's on 8 lap old mediums. He is not going to go any further in this race with them ones. And Blackburn, though, doing his second stop, he's onto a set of hard tyres. Looks like CHR trying to find his way past Kodoi. Kodoi gets pressured a bit. Looks like he's going to get tagged a little bit though, Kodoi. But CHR does get through. Hazard now, will he try and do something here? Going down the Curvagonde straight. I don't think he's going to, because Kodoi's trying to do something to CHR. Let's have a look now. Going down this straight. Will Kodoi try and fake a move here? No, he backs out really early there actually. Want to make certain that CHR was damaged there. Probably doesn't break too early for him. However, there's fights still going on across the field, and the top five now, all in DRS with each other. Interesting stuff here, as I don't know who is going to go for a second stop here. Maybe someone tries to eke out a one stop, but it's looking pretty good so far for everyone involved at the minute out in front. Everyone's still in that DRS range. Hazard is past Kodoi now, and a little bit more clean even in qualifying, and he is up into P11. And we're going to see, everyone's still having DRS at the minute, other than Skills Dan, somehow. I'm not too sure how. Didn't look like he had DRS there anyway. The green bar at the bottom of his heads-up display there did not light up. So he is not actually got any DRS. However, Josh definitely does. Trying to move on that packets here. Both going to go equally late on the brakes there, it looked like. But Josh just manages to get through there. Up into P6. Lovely race actually for Josh so far. I think he actually qualified a little bit low down the field as well. Yeah, P11. So he's really not doing too bad for himself here. Blackburn also having a bit of a fight here with Hazard. Never mind, he's not. Hazard's coming for another stop. So, Hazard will be going to the end there. Blackburn also going to the end. Colpill, I believe, should be going to the end if he's... yeah, 2 up on hard, he'll be going to the end. Budget Bruce will as well. And he'll pass Hazard here, I think, actually, on this exit. Yes, he will. Hazard down in last minute. And now, our Henson, the first driver to fall out of the DRS range. Will he try and go for a pit stop here? Try and maybe get a little bit of an undercut going and back into that DRS. Whatever tyres he goes, I'm assuming it's mediums. But, however, we've seen them fall off quite quick. So, just depends what's going to happen here. He's not using his batteries getting to DRS at the minute. So, let's see. Will he go into the pit lane? Because Exotic Swords catch up to his teammate there, Mucho Capo. Our Henson really soaring at the steering wheel here. Will he actually be able to get into DRS here? He's very close. I don't think he's going to get it, though, in the end of it. No, he does not. Skills down, though. Will he try and make a move here into turn 1 on Wisburn? He's getting closer and closer. I don't think it's going to happen, though, in the end of things. No, Wisburn stays there. Josh actually leaves session. This is a bit of an issue here. As I think Bluebird got a penalty there as well. Let's quickly add Josh back in. Not sure what's going on. But he's back in. We're all good. Bluebird gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in pit lane. That is the last thing he wanted. And he's replacing his wing as well. So he's going to need a lot of stuff going right for him in this race. And I think it's really going to happen for him now. He was doing well, but now it's sort of crumbled apart for him. I'll give one more invite to Josh once again, just to make sure everything is all good. But unfortunately, people are actually disconnecting here. D-Move, the main one, I think, there. He was actually on for a one-stop strategy. And he's doing good now at the minute. He's just got past the ghost of AI there of Josh. But yeah, Josh, unfortunately for him, he's only falling further and further back right now. And it's a bit of a shame, to be honest. The yellow flag, though, is out in Sector 1. Not sure what's happened. Looks like Bluebird has had an incident with someone else down here, maybe Budget Bruce. Whisper, though, actually, while you're looking at that, though, let's have a look at that penalty. He's got 3 seconds. This is big. Because right now, this podium could consist of Skillsan, Mucho Capo, and our Henson. Aston Martin, actually, have had a really good race so far. But Skillsan here, pulling the undercut. And we're going to see now, that's a very... I don't know how that's not a penalty, but a very late break there from Exotic. Not sure what's happened. That was an incredibly late break. Might have just seen that one wrong. But, I never know, we're actually going to lag here in a minute. We've seen some people disconnect. But yeah, I think they're all going to go on mediums here to the end of the race. We're still trying to get Josh back into this race. Hopefully he's able to get that one back in. But our Henson is going to come out last of these 3. Exotic the second and Skills down the first. Obviously the way they were in beforehand. However, we've got to make sure they don't get overtaken by anyone here. Our Henson needs to make sure it's imperative to try and stay ahead of CA Drama here. And he's not able to go and do it. Kodoy tries to go and make a move here, but he's gone too deep and he is done right there. And it looks like now CA Drama is going to be the bottleneck here for Henson, sorry. Look, our Henson knows it. Straight on the attack here. He's going to try and get the move done and dusted, and he is. But interestingly enough, I don't know, actually might not have been something that I've just randomly seen. Look at it. Exotic's pulled up like another 2 seconds here to our Henson. I'm not too sure what's happened. Might be Peterson on, which actually could be a bit of an issue here. In case we don't actually turn off the assists on some of the lobby settings, could be a bit of a worry here. However, some people right now might be wondering, will it be worth it to stay out on these hard tyres? Mucho Capo currently is doing the same thing as Wisburn here. They're both staying out on their old hards. D-Move here, I believe, is also going to go to the end. So we'll see what he does on his mediums. Kadom's in session now, but he has obviously had an issue and he has crashed, or at least retired from the session. Anyway, while I was saying that though, Blackbone did get past CJ Drama there, and he's going to fly off into the distance trying to get past any more cars he can, but I don't know if he really can by the end of this thing. He does get past that though, to be fair. So Blackbone is still doing some good stuff out there at the minute. Wisburn too, even with that penalty at the minute, he's doing great stuff there, pulling away from Mucho Kappa behind, but I think he's actually really struggling on some tyres at the minute. 12 laps of them tyres is pretty crazy at the minute. Kodo though into the pit lane as Bluebird sets fast up his teammate there, and we're going to see, is anyone else really close enough to make any sorts of moves? I do not know. However, looks like our Henson, looks like he's lost out actually a lot to that pit lane thing. I really don't know what actually happened, but yeah, he is lost out quite a bit, and he is only falling back now on the pit times at the minute. Look at this, 3.7 seconds back now, and Exotic in DRS of Skills Dam. So realistically, Wisburn and Mucho Capo at the minute they can't really pit, because if they do, they're going to fall behind them. But one of them might have to bail here. These are going to be some really old, hard tyres by the end of this race. So there might be some wear involved, there might not be wear involved, I do not know. But, yeah, crazy stuff here. Divu is still going to come across the line here in P3 at the minute. He's actually doing pretty similar lap times to what his best is, as you look there at the top. But yeah, if that exotic thing gets reported, I think that might be a penalty, at least by what our lobby saying should be. He'll be going, look like he was going far too much into the pits there, and that might end up with some issues. Anyway, let's see a John into the pit lane for a late stop, actually. I mean, only 6 racing laps left. Obviously, 22 counts as a racing lap as well, as of 27. But, yeah, very late charge here. But this charge ain't really going to be doing much here. He goes onto a set of medium tyres and also gets onto a new nose. But interestingly enough here, Josh as well, I don't know what's happened to him. He's managed to somehow... I don't know what's happened, but he might box twice by accident. But yeah, he is P15 at last. I don't know what happened. He was doing all right. Obviously, we saw him with that issue with him disconnecting. But yeah, crazy stuff. He's now well down the order. I don't know why that is. Anyway, though, Exotic is trying to gain on Skills Dan right now. And I think the guys out in front are going to keep it on these tyres as long as they can. The only issue is, can they make it? That's the big issue. Even on 75%, there is no guarantee that those tyres aren't going to pop. So we're just going to wait and see. I think Mucha Capo will be the one most on the threat here. I mean, maybe even D-Move, actually. Those mediums do degrade out quite fast. So we're just going to wait and see here as Exotic Swords trying his best to get past Skills Dan. Skills Dan actually not really having the best of races here. I mean, to be honest, it was decent enough, but I think he's been shown as not having the pace all the time here. And I think now Exotic Swords will be trying to capitalise on that. Exotic Sword actually having a little bit of a comeback in this race. I mean, he also didn't show much amazing pace at the start, at least compared to this was Wisburn and I guess Bluebird as well before his crash. But they're looking pretty decent now, actually, both of them. So they're catching up to D-Move as well. We're going to just wait and see how they do. Oh, look at all 3 of them having a bit of issues there at turn 1 and turn 2. There's definitely could put the power down by the end of things. Cold Pillow, though, looks like to be able to defend just here from Budget Bruce. Let's see what Budget Bruce does here. And yeah, nothing else really happening there as all. See, Jama has a bit of an issue there. Our Henson picks up a 3-second penalty, so he's out of the threat from Blackbone behind. We'll see what they do in relation to how much he can catch up. But yeah, Henson, any chance he had of maybe trying to get closer to Exotic has failed. But that 3-second penalty all but confirms it, unless that pit lane penalty gets applied by the end of the steward's report. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, we'll definitely see it from my head as well, because I don't know if that was lag or anything. But that looked a way too fast pitch there for Exotic. We'll just have to wait and see though, as he's going to still try and make his moves on Skills Dan. And Skills Dan looks like he's going to do pretty decently just to hold on a minute. Looks like everyone is just sort of chilling out here for the last few laps as everyone, I guess, really sort of settling down. I mean, obviously these are the only 2 people in DRS at the minute. Bluebird's just another fastest lap there on the hard tyres. And I think, so, I mean, yeah, honestly, his spin, I think, has cost him this race. It's realistically forced him to do a 2-stop, or at least fall out of the pack here with Skills like Jessica Henson. And it's just sent him further and further down until he's got a penalty. And yeah, I think realistically he's got one of the, probably the best pace out of most people in this race so far. And unfortunately for him, it has led him to a P9 of all things. So it's his fault with that spin, I believe. But yeah, bit of a yikes there. However, a 1-stop, it's looking like the favourite here in a minute. Demon obviously after disappointing qualifying, looks like he's going to take P3 after all of that, unless his tyres was going to fail on him. And this is exactly the same for Mucha Kappa and Wisburn. They're going to take P1 and P2. Mucha Kappa, actually, I'm very interested in here, because obviously he's got slightly older tyres. But what I'm most interested in, actually, with Mucha Capo is he was not really a front-running person in these last 2 races, but he has been incredibly impressive this race, I've got to say. Like, if I bring up his last 2 results here, if I can find them, let me try and actually see when he first joined in. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, P13 at Imola, nothing too great there. He had a P11 at Spa, and still was in reverse, I think he was even in. No, P10. He's on for a P2 at the minute and a potential win if he's able to hold these tyres together. However, I can't really speak too soon here because even if he does hold these tyres together, I mean, yeah, he needs to make sure that he can see. He needs to make sure he can still keep within the 3 seconds of Wisburn if he wants that win, and also make sure he doesn't do any sort of mistakes as well. Because obviously the threat of a puncture's there, but so is the threat of a mistake creeping in for Mucho Capo. And we're only a few laps left here. Will it be Mucho Capo or Wisburn? It's really interesting to see, actually. Let's just have a quick check on one thing, just before we get back in there. Warning, penalty and warning. Yeah. See the tyre age again? Yeah, the tyre age is bad. Look at this. 17 laps on them hard tyres. Crazy stuff. He's got to do 2 more laps on these tyres. And depending on how much he can catch up to Wisburn out in front, or how much Wisburn can maintain a gap, will depend if he wins the race or not. And obviously, he's got punctures to worry about. He's got everything else to worry about in this race. I don't know what tyre we're cooking the most, but if we have a look at that front left tyre, look at that. You can clearly see just how bad it looks. And I think even, yeah, look at that, front left, rear right, all his tyres look incredibly shot, but Mucho Capo doing incredibly so far, I have to say. Even if he doesn't get the win at the end of this race, he's done incredibly to try and bounce back here. Once again, a P13, P11, P10 for his last 3 results, and this is what he's doing in a minute. He's doing incredibly so far. And we actually missed this though while we were looking at Mucho Capo and getting rid of the heads-up display there. Exotic Swords is past Skills Dan, interestingly enough, and Blackbone here, even though he got a penalty, is now right on the back of our Henson. So our Henson will have some job to go and do here now. As for Skills Dan, just in case he gets a penalty, we'll just have to wait and see. I think that Mucho Capo though has dropped just a bit too far back now, as we're going to head on to the last lap there with Wisburn in a second. Blackburn, I believe, will also try and make a move here going into the final lap. However, I think it'd be incredible job well done here, actually, from the guys at the one-stops. I mean, obviously, race ain't over yet, but to think we even want to have a one-stop here, crazy stuff. Brilliant here from Wisburn so far. 17 laps on his tyres in this race, if he can hold them together once again. Same with Mucho Capo here, 19 laps on this tyre. I can clearly tell why he's struggling. I don't even blame him for not being able to catch up to the P1 there of Wisburn. But he's done incredibly there. Absolutely incredibly. D-Move is P3 also on the one-stop, and he's holding the mediums together pretty well too. So good job to him. As actually there, we just saw Skills Dan past Exotic Swords there, and Blackbone past our Henson. Our Henson, though, has got quite a lot of battery actually to use on this last lap. So we're going to have to wait and see if he uses any more of that one by the end of it. Other people, though, not really having the best race out here. I think Hazard is really the standout one here. I mean, I think he was P6 by the end of things, to Silverstone reverse. And not only has he had a bit of a dodgy thing in qualifying, he has just not really had a good race. All things considered here, he's just been stuck at the back for most of it, unfortunately. Has not had much else to do. Kodoi as well. Bluebird, yeah, can pick a few people. Josh, unfortunately, with no fault of his own there. But we're going to turn our attention now to Wisburn. Looks like he's just managed to hold them tyres together. 17 laps on the hards, 27 laps completed, and he now wins the Monza Grand Prix here in BRL Season 12. Mucho Capo, incredible result from him. He should be incredibly happy with himself, making 19 lap-old hards last, and he's going to take P2, his best result by miles here in BRL. D-Move takes P3 also on the one stop, and now the guys on the two stop here are coming through. Skills Dan, the leader to the two stop there. Exotic Swords getting into P5. Blackburn there also actually third place to the two stop runners. Nothing too bad actually from Blackburn as well. Yeah, 2 stops, 11 laps on the hard tyres. Puncture in the last corner according to someone. Well, I think we can tell who it is. Mucho Capo. Puncture on the front left. He was pushing tyres really badly now. I was going to go through all the grid. But yeah, Mucho Capo. Big shot tyre there. Nat Packers just behind our Henson there. Well, 9 half actually behind our Henson. Just got Pillar P9. Budget Bruce P10. Has a P11. Bluebird P12, no mistake. Godoy P13. So yeah, Giant P14. Josh P15. I'm just going to quickly look at... wow, look at that tyre. We're going to take all the things... Look at that! Crazy stuff, look at it. Tyres hanging on its rim there. Incredible stuff from Mucho Capo. I don't know how he's managed to nurse some tyres to the end. But well played to him. His AI can hardly even keep on the track. Let's see who the driver of the day is. I want to say maybe D-Move will be collected as driver of the day here. Let's have a look. I believe that's what the game will say. But yeah, anyway though, Wisburn with the win there on the end of things. D-Move in P3. Mucha Kappa with a flat tyre in P2. And we're going to look now. Yeah, driver of the day is not actually, he's Blackbone, so not too bad from him. Most overtakes from Josh. I think he did a great race, but unfortunately for him, yeah, disconnection happened to him. But Wisburn from P3 on the grid takes the win here with Mucho Capo running on 3 wheels, and he's going to take his first podium in BRL, and by a long shot his best result. D-Move here, brilliant recovery from him actually. P14 to P3 on the one-stop strategy. Looks like that was a dominant one today, even if there was very near misses with the tyre wear. Skills down P4, Exotic Swords P5, the top 2 unfortunately going down to 4th and 5th. Blackbone, a great actual recovery. I did not notice this. He's up to P6. Crazy stuff from him. Henson P7 and the end of things. Nat Packers P8. Cole Pillow also making moves there up to P9. Budget Bruce P10. Hazard P11 after all of that. Bluebird, big mistake from him, but he takes a fast step at least in P12. Codoy P13. Josh rounds out our points. Oh no, Josh actually doesn't round out our points. The drama does. But then it's Josh, Kadom, and Knowing Light as the 2 non-finishers there as well. But not too bad of a race so far. I can't tell any of you any previous, actually no, any updated standings here. However, what I can tell you at least is that we got a great race and possibly a great title fight in our hands here as well. Wisman does take another win. Well, actually, no, hold on. He might be running away from this championship now. Ignore me. He might be really running away from this championship. I think at least, though, for the Constructors' Championship, it'll be a pretty fun fight. Aston Martin had a great result, actually, in the end of things there as well. Exotic Swords, Mucha Capo, those are the 2 main ones there. Crazy stuff from them, P2 and P5, I believe, in the end. So, good stuff from them. However, we are going to move on now towards next week, and we'll see you next week for Austin, Texas. I'm Miss Cookie. This has been Season 12 of BRL, Round 6 at Monza. And thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.